And welcome to Speak for Yourself, presented by Hyundai. Marcellus Wiley here on Casual Friday with Emmanuel Watts. What the hell are you wearing?
Look, bro, I did traps today and I did arms and I couldn't fit in the suit. Ooh. It's not my fault. It's not my fault.
Okay. I didn't know Oak Tree and the Fox Hills Mall was still open. All right. Funky Fridays. Let's just get it going, y'all. We're here for the next 2 hours, and we're heading into week 3 in the NFL. So let's get it started with Russell Wilson, who has been red hot in his first 2 games. Russ leads the league with 9 touchdown passes with only 11 incompletions. Next up is the Cowboys in Seattle on Fox. Mike McCarthy was asked if he doesn't want to score too fast to keep Russ on the sidelines, but he said, quote, "We want to score as fast as we can and as many times as we can." Duh. So, Acho, do you think the Cowboys slow down Russell Wilson on Sunday? You laughing. You laughing because you missed your suit jacket?
That's not a serious question.
That's not really a serious question, but let's start.
Ain't no chance the Cowboys slow down Russell Wilson. But the Cowboys haven't slowed down much of anybody, Marcellus.
Oh, we go in that lane.
That's the only lane to go in. That's like the HOV lane when there's traffic. You better head in that lane, okay? Think about it. Matt Ryan, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions last week. Jared Goff, 275-plus yards week 1. The Cowboys' pass defense, bottom 10. Cowboys' pass yards given up, bottom 10. Cowboys' most points given up, bottom 10. Cowboys defensively, they're just a bottom 10 defense. And you're facing a top 2, top 1 quarterback. It's like mixing oil and water. Those two things just don't mix. Russell Wilson is a beast, and the Cowboys defense is not. The Cowboys are sitting at 1-1, not because of their defense, not because they slowed down anybody, because Dak Prescott put up 450 yards and 3 touchdowns on the ground, 1 touchdown through the air, gave you 4 tugs. The Cowboys have no chance. No chance of slowing down Russell Wilson. But I'm going to give you this little nugget, sir. Okay. I'm coming out today swinging.
Oh,
and just know I'm
you
not
ain't got no jacket on. You might as well just swing.
I'm not letting up, Marcellus. I'm throwing haymakers the whole show until I knock you out.
All right, let's go.
Russell Wilson, he got 9 touchdowns, 1 pick right now.
Beastin'. Russell
Wilson, though, in September, the last 3 years, 19 touchdowns and only 1 pick. So what we're seeing from Russ is actually just regular September Russell Wilson. So expect to continue to see it, bro, for 1 more Sunday at least.
Oh, wow. Look at this. Cowboys slow down Russell Wilson. You looking at this question entirely wrong. You need to invert this. What is better than a great defense?
An excellent defense?
No, a better offense. Oh, look at you. You forgot about that. Over there searching for your suit jacket. Didn't even finish your notes. Come out here and swing here. Talk about bottom 10 in terms of what the Cowboys look like on defense. Okay, bottom 10 sounds pretty bad. But what about if you were the worst defense? I wonder who has the worst defense in the NFL. Anybody? Trivia. Oh, the Seattle Seahawks have the worst defense in football. Wonder who has the worst pass defense in football. Since we're talking about in trivia, anybody? Oh, the Seattle Seahawks as well. So what's better than a good defense? What's better than a good defense is a better offense. Dak is going to feast. The Cowboys are going to feast. Russell Wilson won't be on the field because the Cowboys will methodically be going up and down the field with their number 2 offense in the league. And he hasn't thrown a pick, so he's not going to turn the ball over like Russell Wilson did last time, prime time, first series. Oh, pick 6. Oh, we got to dig ourselves out of a hole. Wonder what the number 1 Russian scoring attack is going to look like this week in the Dallas Cowboys. So I saw the question like you did, but I got fully dressed, and I did all of my notes. And I remembered that this is an offense that can't be stopped, that just did something historical in beating the Atlanta Falcons, giving up 39 points, which is a defensive issue, and forcing no turnovers and still overcoming that. 444 were teams in that same predicament. Not the Dallas Cowboys. They're going to ride that high with that offense, go against the worst defense in the league, and beat down Seattle.
Sir, I'm glad you got fully dressed.
Yes.
Because I'm about to undress your argument. I'm about to undress your argument. You talk about the Seahawks giving up, having the worst pass defense. The Seahawks starting safety, Quandre Diggs, got ejected. The Seahawks backup safety got hurt.
You should still be 20.
So Cam Newton throws for 400 yards and has a career day playing against 2 backups, but a primary backup that's about to be back this week in Quandre Diggs. So I'm surprised somehow you haven't run out of ingredients the way you be cooking the books. So I'm not about to sit here and let you cook these books now.
I'm listening.
But let's talk about this. You can't slow down a Russell Wilson because Russell Wilson right now is just in a zone. and he's in a zone we haven't seen before. I'm going to get to this aspect of the conversation later on in the show, but Russ wants an MVP now.
Oh, he wants one?
He wants
Why
one.
he ain't got one? Oh, I forgot.
No.
I forgot. He ain't good enough.
He set his eyes on an MVP right now. So what's that tell me, Marcellus? If anybody going to get theirs, it's going to be Russ. I'm not convinced that Greg Olsen at tight end is going to get his. I'm not convinced that the running backs are going to get theirs. But if one person on this gosh darn field is going to get theirs, it's going to be Russell Wilson. But more than that, Seahawks, they have the best record right now in close games, against close games. The Cowboys...
Oh, so you're saying it's going to be close. Say it.
I'm not saying that nonsense.
Which way you going to take
that nonsense. I'm saying
they got to win
whichever way you look at it, the Seahawks are better. Russell Wilson, the best deep ball passer in the league. The Cowboys have the worst deep ball defense in the league. Russell Wilson, you can debate if you want to. Oh, is Russell Wilson number 1, number 2, number 3? What you can't debate, he throws the prettiest deep ball in that joint.
No.
And the Dallas Cowboys defense, it is atrocious in the secondary. So honestly, it's a silly question. They're not going to slow down Russell Wilson. Even if you want to marvel over the Cowboys offense, let's be honest, it doesn't look great. They had a great ending against the Falcons. They had a not good beginning, middle, or ending against the Rams.
Wow.
The Cowboys offense, it really doesn't look great. Kudos to Dak Prescott for getting his stats. The game was essentially a blowout the whole game. You were down by 20.
Essentially a blowout, and they come back and win.
Yeah,
and you're talking about the
you
Seattle
said you haven't seen that before?
Seahawks. And Seattle Seahawks are the ones that win the close games, huh? This is an interesting argument you're trying to piece together right on the fly. I understand where you are right now. You're struggling. I'm going to help you out.
I feel great. I feel great, America.
I am your co-host. I will not let you drown. But damn it, you act like the Dallas Cowboys aren't coming in here with an emotional high. Think about what the Dallas Cowboys overcame last week. And you keep forgetting that the Seattle Seahawks played 2 teams. They just played the New England Patriots and give up over 400 yards. They nearly gave up 400 yards to the Atlanta Falcons. And now Dallas comes in there. And they have Zeke. And Zeke, in his history, when he doesn't have 100 yards in his first 2 games, he never makes it to a 3rd game without 100. They gonna feed Zeke. Hey, you gotta get off. He's never had 3 straight games to start a season without 100 yards. So then we look at Dak, and we're like, damn, Dak, what you gonna do? You know what Dak has done the last 6 games? Since you get, I hear you a lot of times, you get fatigued with 2-game sample sizes. Me too. It's like it's too early, but we have some evidence. But let's go to the last 6 games for Dak. 305 passing yards per game. 0 interceptions. What's the most important stat on the stat sheet when coach goes and reviews the game?
Turnovers, winning.
Dak will not put his team in position where they're going to turn the ball over. And if that's the case, the way that he's producing, the way that Zeke is going to produce, and the way that the Seattle Seahawks defense is not the Legion of Boom, I don't see how you add this up.
Here's the only issue. I have a few issues.
I got you
But
now.
here's the primary issue I have with what you said. You said the Cowboys are on an emotional high. Now, again, I told you, I don't smoke, I don't drink. But as Google tells me, how long do highs last? I didn't specify, but highs last upwards of 9 hours.
That's
Mark,
it?
That's it,
You ain't been to Vegas yet with me.
That's it.
Yeah, right.
This
9
Cowboys
hours.
high, my brother, it's not going to last 6 days. So congratulations, Cowboys. You're on your emotional high. But unfortunately, highs come crashing down. I don't see them getting another emotional high against Seattle. Dak Prescott, Seattle Seahawks. They've met each other 3 different times. Russell Wilson has 5 touchdowns, no interceptions in those 3 meetings. Again, this is going to be another one of those meetings. That's how I see it. That's how it's going to go down.
Okay, well, if you think it's going to go down like that, let's move on to the next topic, which is the Dak Prescott matchup, who is coming off one of the best games in his career. Dak's Cowboys have lost to the Rams and beaten the Falcons, but they'll face their biggest test of the year so far against Russell Wilson's Seahawks on the road. So, Acho, should the Cowboys be all in on Dak if he beats Russell Wilson?
A surprise you. Yes, 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 and yes.
Okay.
If Dak Prescott beats Russell Wilson, I told y'all. That's all I need to see.
What's that?
I'm not Dak Prescott beating a competitive team. Like, people think I knock Dak Prescott because I get joy in it. Nah, I'm up here wearing my blue and my gray slacks. You can't see it, but I'm in my Cowboys colors today. I was born and raised in Dallas. I want to see the Cowboys win. What I won't do is lower my expectations and lower the bar so that Dak Prescott can meet it. That's what I won't do. And that's all I've said this whole time. Dak Prescott, he's 13-3 against the Giants and the Washington football team. He's 28-22 against everybody else. Dak Prescott is 9-14 against playoff teams. Okay, that is the problem with Dak Prescott is you've shown me you can win, but you haven't shown me that you can beat very good teams. You haven't shown me you can beat playoff teams. You haven't shown me you can win multiple playoff games in one playoff run. I just need to see Dak beat competent, competitive, legitimized teams. I'm not making this up, Marcellus. I'm not making this up, world. Again, Dak Prescott, he won 8 games last year. He beat the Giants twice. He beat the football team twice. He beat the Dolphins. He beat the Eagles. He beat the Rams. Dak Prescott only beat one playoff team last year. And the reason they made the playoffs, the Eagles, is because they beat the Cowboys when it mattered most. So, Marcellus, if Dak wins this game, yes, I'm all in. I don't need the life raft. Throw it out. I don't need the parachute. I'm not pulling it. If Dak Prescott beats the Seahawks, I'm all in. Jerry Jones, cut the check.
I can't believe that you just told me you're not going to lower your expectations.
I can't do it.
To this level, which you have lowered them to.
What's that?
They already are all in on Dak Prescott. He's making $31 million for 1 year. And then next year, if they want to play these games again and roll the dice, he's making $37 million a year. He's on pace, and I've told you this 1,000 times, to double what Patrick Mahomes is going to make in the next 3 years. And according to you, he's not even half as good as Patrick Mahomes. That sounds like leverage. Yes, he has all the leverage. Yes, they're all in on Dallas. But the lower expectations element is really difficult to absorb because you're the same guy that tells me Dak needs to win. And I thought you meant in the playoffs. I thought you meant a Super Bowl. You keep bringing up how there's a drought in Dallas in terms of titles. You were a little infant before when they last won a title, right? But now Acho comes up here because he's not fully dressed and fully prepared, it seems like, and now lowers his expectations all the way to week 3 against the Seattle Seahawks on the road. Oh, if you beat the Seattle Seahawks, who beat the Falcons and beat the Patriots by a yard. Now, that's the most impressive thing you could do, and that should convince Jerry and Steven. You should be all in on Dak Prescott. How did you lower your expectations to week 3?
Marcellus, how dare you just say the Seahawks beat the Patriots by a yard?
By a yard.
Because the Patriots beat the Seahawks by a yard in the biggest game of Russell Wilson's life.
Different teams.
The Super Bowl.
Different teams.
Okay, but anyway, let me get back on track. The reason I'm going to be all in is very simple. We've seen this movie before. You played for this franchise. You played for the Cowboys. Now, you played before Romo got there, but Tony Romo...
No, he was my boy.
Wait, was he? Okay.
Yeah, he was 4th string.
So you get it. You understand Romo. Romo's beloved. Beloved. I love Tony Romo. Romo was the quarterback when I was a high school student when I first fell in love with football. But Tony Romo is the same person as Dak. 3 Pro Bowls in his first 4 years. Dak has 2. 1 playoff appearance in his first 4 years. Dak, similar run, similar trajectory. But more importantly than this, because I took a deep dive in the notes today, Cowboys fans, rock with me. Tony Romo, 16-26 versus playoff teams. That's the 38% winning percentage. Dak Prescott, currently 9-14. That's a 39% winning percentage against playoff teams. Cowboys fans, y'all saw this before. Y'all love Romo. I love Romo. Romo was great. What did Romo do for you? When you sit back and you remove your emotional bias from it, because I've had to do that. Man, Romo, the backwards hat, he was so cool. The number, the escape in the play, the smile, the other family, man, it was all so cute. But when you remove all the layers, Marcellus, and you get to the facts and you get rid of your feelings, you go, wait a second. Romo ain't with me but a couple playoff games? Romo, you played for a decade and you ain't with me but a couple. So Jerry Jones is saying, Dak, I've seen this before. And in all honesty, I liked Romo a little bit better, if I'm being honest. I
paid him. I gave him that money, didn't I?
And I made that mistake.
I don't argue.
And I made that mistake. So, Marcellus, Dak, the Cowboys have seen this before. They've seen a quarterback that is above average but can't win big games, can't beat playoff teams. They're not going to make the mistake. If Dak can beat Russell Wilson and the Seahawks, clearly a playoff team, a dominant team, then that's all you need to know. That's all I need to know.
Oh, man, you made such a strong argument. It's misplaced in this conversation. You said, I need you, Dak, to win the big games.
That's it.
I agree. Week 3 against Seattle ain't no big game like that, bruh, compared to what Dak has already done in his career. He's won 13 regular season games before. So if you really want to see a Week 3 win, look in his resume. But you're trying to make it seem like there needs to be something done that has not been done by Dak. Yes, I agree with that. But that does not happen against this Seattle team with the worst defense. You're going to move the goalposts on Monday. This is what's going to happen. Here's Emmanuel Acho. Let me look like him right now, all right? Bring my hairline down a little bit. Rough up the eyebrows. I don't know what's going on up here. Okay, you know what? This is what he always does, golf claps. Good job, Dak Prescott. Amazing. You beat the worst defense in the NFL in the Seattle Seahawks. But what we need from you is a big win. And you're going to move the goalposts again to a playoff win. Dak is just trying to get this team in the NFC least, as you call it, to the playoffs where he can make some magic. Week 3 wins against Seattle, big dog. I love you too much. I just don't see how that moves the meter.
Marcellus, the Week 3 win against the Seahawks is your first real litmus test. The Falcons are not a good football team. They weren't last year. They didn't make any margin.
They finished strong, but I give you that.
They didn't make any substantial changes on the field this year.
No.
The Cowboys had to come back from a crazy deficit to win that. Kudos to the Cowboys. Cowboys' first game, they lost to the Rams. The Rams are the third best team in that division. Like, I'm not convinced that the Rams are yet a playoff team.
Okay.
If so, they're a wild card team.
Okay.
You still got the Cardinals, and you got the Seahawks in that division. So the Cowboys, Dak, I need a litmus test, Marcellus.
You know what? I'm glad you need some convincing. And I'm tired of just talking to a wall that ain't going to listen to me. But we're going to bring in somebody who may settle the score.
What up, LA?
Fox NFL analyst LeVar Arrington. LeVar, should the Cowboys be all in on Dak if he beats Russell Wilson in Week 3 and Seattle on the road?
No, because they already should be. And here's the point. After I shed my jacket to look at taking care of my little brother, I ain't gonna let big brother pick on baby bro. So I'm gonna take my jacket off too. We're gonna go no jacket Friday. Here's the reason why. You moved the goalpost a little bit, Marcellus.
Oh, come on.
I'm gonna tell you why you moved the goalpost. I'm gonna tell you why.
You need to move your light.
The premise of the question is based around what the Dallas Cowboys intend to do with Dak Prescott long term. Okay. So to say that they're already bought in and they're already on board with Dak Prescott based upon what that franchise tag represents is misleading. And you're smart enough to do that, and people aren't going to catch on to that. So I just figured I'd call that out since you'd be throwing Acho under the bus all the time. Here's the point. Here's the point. Dak Prescott, if he hasn't already got them to be all in where they're planning on giving him the contract that is even between the two sides, then Dak is going to have to prove throughout the entire season.
That's a word.
Listen, they don't have a whole lot of big games, but the few that they do, Dak is going to have to win. Seattle is going to have to win against, Dak's going to have to win against Seattle.
Talk to him.
Dak is going to have to win against Baltimore Ravens.
Yes, sir.
He's going to have to win against the Steelers.
Yes,
He's going to have to win against these top teams if they're not already in on Dak Prescott.
May I?
Oh, of course, always, but what?
No. Look, what LeVar is saying makes sense. Ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Marcellus is trying to act as though the Cowboys are all in because of how much Dak Prescott is making this year. $31 million on the tag. But Dak Prescott's making that $31 million based on what other quarterbacks are being paid. The franchise tag isn't what the Cowboys dictated to pay Dak Prescott. The franchise tag says you have to make the average of the top number
and we're
in this
not
position.
ready to give you that
If the
big
franchise
contract.
tag, Marcellus, allotted Dak Prescott made $15 million, how much would Dak make this year? $15 million. The Cowboys are paying Dak Prescott a certain number, not because they wanted to, not because they're in love with him, not because they're committed to him, because the NFL regulations stipulate based on the tag how much Dak is going to make.
Go ahead, Acho.
Stop
Go
trying
ahead
to
and get
skew.
it.
No, he's not even trying to skew the stat. I don't know if you've been seeing LeVar. Marcella's been cooking the books. He's cooking the books. Stop cooking them.
Okay, tell me if I'm cooking the books. You keep saying they're hiding behind the regulation of the NFL and the NFLPA stipulating that you got to get an average salary of the top 5 quarterbacks at the position, which was the letter of the law, right? Well, why in the hell did they already offer him and he tore up the contract 5 years at $35 million per year.
He doesn't feel like that's all in.
He didn't accept it.
He doesn't feel like that's all in.
Excuse me?
Whatever the truth of the offer is, Dak and his people did not feel as though that's an
You're
all-in
making my
offer
point.
from
My
Dallas.
point was 31 ain't
That's
his
why it's a
ceiling.
negotiation.
31 is his floor, and he's laughing at you. All right, this is the problem I have. I'm a late bloomer.
What problem?
I'm a late bloomer, and I'm right now talking on a show. Let's see all of these guys in the box. I want everyone to take a notice of who I am.
They came to see me.
I am here listening to you guys talk about a week 3 win, how huge it is. Like we in some power ranking BCS mindset.
I didn't say that. Hold on now.
Okay.
Don't put me in that box.
Okay.
I did not say that.
Okay.
I said if they're not in on him yet. If they're not in on him yet, he better win all them big games.
You co-signed the lease that said he needs some big wins because they don't have a lot of big games on their schedule.
He does.
That's a
Yes, he
BCS power ranking mindset. But I excuse both of you guys.
You know nothing about that. You know nothing about
That's my
BCS
point.
power ranking.
I am doing a show.
So don't come into that conversation, Mr. Marcellus.
I'm not. I'm actually about to give you a compliment after I give you a backhanded one.
Yeah.
You
I know it's
guys
backhanded.
are
That's why I'm
two
saying it right
guys
now.
who were best in college. That's why your mindsets are stuck in college. I
got
wasn't the
just
best
as
in
many
college.
Pro
I
Bowls
kept
as you,
growing and
Playboy.
kept going to realize.
I think I got more Pro Bowls than you, Playboy.
Hey, you had a bigger name, too. They voted me in 3 times, too.
true.
You just was starting and I was hurt. Here's the thing. You make more money than me. Here's the thing. Right now, if you got
you better
the
look at them
mindset
contracts. You better look at them contracts.
week 3 is
pull them
big,
up.
you still in college. Because in the NFL, all they do at the end of 16, 17 weeks, they say, how many did you win? They don't give a damn. Then they hit a hard reset button and you enter into the playoffs. You guys got to leave your best days behind you. You sound a real Al Bundy up here with arguments that are BCS.
Honestly, I'm still blooming. Okay, my best days are honestly still far ahead of me, Mr. Marcellus. You're not going to do that to me.
Okay, well, I ain't going to see you put on those shoulder pads to do it. You need to put on the suit jacket. Let's figure that one out.
That's incorrect,
Coming up at the top of the hour, we're not done with Russell Wilson. We'll tell you if his talk on wanting the MVP award can hurt his team. But first, LeBron did it on offense and defense last night. We'll tell you if the King is still the best in the league. Next, Speak for Yourself, presented by Hyundai.
We're leaving, Nacho.
Welcome back to Speak for Yourself, presented by Hyundai. Let's move to them Lakers, who took a commanding 3-1 lead against the Nuggets last night. LeBron got the job done on offense with 26 points, but he also stepped up on the defensive end, asking to guard the red-hot Jamal Murray with 5 minutes left in the fourth, holding him to 0 field goals the rest of the game. LeBron said he guarded Murray because it was, quote, winning time. Oh, that's that GOAT talk if I've ever heard it. Joined now by Slick Rick. That's the NBA analyst. But Marcellus, you up first.
Yeah.
Did LeBron prove he's still the best player in the NBA?
Is Durant still hurt? Oh, okay.
That guy.
Is Kawhi still a champion in Cancun and the best two-way player we've seen?
Wow.
Is LeBron the back-to-back MVP? Oh, no. Is LeBron even the best player on his team, damn it? I'm going to go to the Lakers banquet to figure that one out. You ever seen that when they give out the awards and the guy who wins the awards on the outside ain't the one who wins it on the inside on the team, actually? Anthony Davis had a better game than LeBron last night. All right. The question, I'm so sorry. Is LeBron still the best player in the NBA? What the hell are y'all talking about? No. LeBron still has a peak height, a peak performance level that he can touch. Every now and then, when he activates it, and it's usually in the fourth quarter and around 5 minutes to go. I don't know, Acho might show you some of this. But the point of it is, I'm talking about give me 48 and then give me 82. And if you're going to be the best player in the world, you got to show it to me. You can't be the best player in the world. Last year, you didn't even make the playoffs. You can't be the best player in the world and let other guys be in your rare space. And it can't just be when you want to be the best player in the world. It's a responsibility that comes from being the best player in the world. So last night, I saw LeBron do what LeBron can do. And I'm going to give him credit because everyone thinks I'm a Laker hater, LeBron hater. Wrong. Here are the facts. LeBron James not only is doing textbook things out there, he's writing the book when he's out there. LeBron James, when he went to the rim against Jamal Murray, did y'all watch how he did it? LeBron James is so smart, and coaches used to always try to tell us this. Don't go where the ball is, go where the ball is going. LeBron James met Jamal Murray where the ball was going, and Jamal Murray, caught up in the air, was like, oh, my God. And I saw the game swing in that moment because LeBron James activated for a short time that he still has best player in the world in his body, in his DNA. But unfortunately, he doesn't activate it enough to be called the best player in the game still.
Marcellus, you sounded a little bit confused there. This is going to be a rough block for you, I can already tell. Okay. You keep mentioning the first 48 as if this is a homicide investigation show, my brother. Can we talk about the game of basketball and what LeBron does do with the minutes he gets? Let me talk about these gentlemen that you mentioned. Kevin Durant, sir, hurt. Also, Kevin Durant without the Golden State Warriors, we already know what that looked like. Kawhi Leonard is at home. Why? Because Kawhi Leonard couldn't activate his superpowers. But let's talk about Giannis Antetokounmpo. Let's talk about him, the reigning MVP you speak of. See, because Marcellus, LeBron showed us exactly why he is still the best player in the NBA. 5 minutes, 36 seconds left yesterday. There was a timeout. Jamal Murray, the Nuggets, had been cooking. They had gone 5 for 5, Marcellus. 5 for 5. LeBron says, hey, give me Murray. Give me Murray. He leads to a steal right there. After the steal, with 5:36 now, it's moving.
Is that the fourth quarter?
KCP, bucket. Now, all of a sudden, the Lakers have a lead. But, the Nuggets got another bucket. LeBron says, don't worry. Give me Murray. Another lockdown possession. Goes down on the other end of the court and gets another bucket. Now, why is this a big deal? I don't care to see the highlights. Let them see me.
Me either.
This is a big deal because Giannis, the defensive player of the year, the MVP, so the person who is in the argument with LeBron James for best player in the world, he had his opportunity to do this against Jimmy Butler, Eastern Conference semis. Jimmy Butler was cooking. Giannis didn't step up to the plate because there are levels, there are heights to greatness, there are heights and levels to being the best player in the world. LeBron James showed us again why he is the best player in the world. After he went, Marcellus, to D up Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray went 0 for 3 from the field the rest of the game. Ew. Jamal Murray had a turnover. Oh, my God.
He had a turnover?
Yeah, he did. In the last 5 minutes. Jamal Murray had a turnover and went 0 for 3 from the field. No, yeah, he did.
And a turnover.
Oh, you're going to act like that's not a big deal? When that's the deciding factor in the game.
32 points?
Yeah, not on LeBron James. How about that?
LeBron was out
not
there.
on the best player in the world.
LeBron was out there, but he wasn't activated yet.
No, it's not a matter of activating. It's a matter of working smarter, not harder. That's the problem, Mr. Columbia. You worked harder and smarter.
Yeah.
You got to pick and choose when you got to do one. Because right now, who's up 3-1? Who up 3-1? Go ahead, say it.
Oh, you going to go there?
3-1.
Yeah, Anthony Davis and the Lakers.
No. LeBron, King, James.
Slick Rick, help him out, Slick.
I don't need no help, Slick.
There's times where I think that Acho is the most aggravating person on this show. And then Marcellus, you come with an argument like you have today.
It was amazing.
And it makes me rethink that position. Look, don't take my word for it that LeBron James has proved last night that he's the best player in the game.
Who are we going to take?
Kevin Durant, are you getting ahead on your absentee ballots? Kevin Durant is not in the conversation. He's not here. Kawhi Leonard, he's not here. Once again, stop Kawhiing about Kawhi Leonard.
Marcellus Kawhiing.
I'm done with that. LeBron James
Marcellus
is the only guy in this conversation who is still playing. But as I said, don't take my word for it. Take Frank Vogel's. I'm not going to call stats. I'm going to call witnesses. Frank Vogel, in the last 5 minutes of last night's game, called Anthony Davis's number exactly one time. What did he do with it? He fumbled the ball out of bounds.
He did.
LeBron James, how did he end up scoring 6 of their last 9 points? By getting to the free throw line. That's my second witnesses, the 3 referees. Because not only did they give them the benefit of the doubt in defending Jamal Murray, they gave him the benefit of doubt at the other end of the floor. If your coach and the referees and the opposition all look at you as the best player on the floor, then how can we say that Anthony Davis or guys that aren't even playing right now deserve that moniker? Oh, and by the way,
oh my God,
I'll add Draymond Green to my witnesses, who, and I quote, said, when it comes to Jamal Murray, he hasn't earned that call against LeBron in that moment. You know what that moment is? That's the winning time moment. That's when your best players get the benefit. That's when your best players have the ball in their hands. The only guy that you can say is in competition with LeBron James for that title right now is Anthony Davis. And Frank Vogel and the referees and Draymond Green all made the point, Not his time. Not quite
The
yet.
verdict is in.
The verdict is in,
Your Honor.
Your Honor. We have a hung jury right here, Your Honor. No verdict in right now. I can't believe, Slick Rick, you're an Ivy Leaguer like me. How did you fall prey to this state school logic like Acho is over here professing? We are not from the same game anymore. LeBron, you want to use the argument, all the other guys aren't here, so LeBron is the best player. But LeBron wasn't here last year at this time, and guess what? He didn't lose his status, did he? Did he lose his status?
Did.
And okay,
He did.
Y'all be falling into these traps.
We were talking about
I literally
being
wrote
the
here.
best player earlier this season.
I'm so glad y'all said that. So now, LeBron lost his status as the greatest player in the year. And y'all trying to tell me to earn it back, all he did was play great for 5 minutes,
not true.
add Anthony Davis for the whole year so they go from a non-playoff team to the #1 seed. And that's how you earn it back when the best player on your team may not even be you. How do you go from losing your status to gaining it back?
Can I get some Advil? I got a headache.
Please answer
This
that.
nonsense is giving me a headache.
How do you gain it back when you add Anthony Davis to the mix and you go from non-playoff to #1 seed and you only activate in a game?
Slick, you take this, Slick.
Game 4 for 5 minutes. How did he earn back? He's the best player in the world.
This is the part that I really don't understand. First of all, can I get the full screen?
You
Can I
just
get
told
the
me
full
that.
screen?
Yes.
Can I get the clutch screen? Can we go back to this?
Oh,
What do I have here?
Anthony
What do I
Davis.
have here? I have a list of clutch players.
Where's LeBron?
Or do I have a list of, these aren't even Robins. These are Godfrey. This is the cat that's in the
Not Godfrey.
freaking bat
How
cave.
can I help you, Batman?
At the very best.
Wow. Gasol
Secondary.
is not even a
You
Robin?
shoot great percentages when you only take shots that aren't necessarily in the clutch, that simply are putbacks, and they're easy shots to take. Again,
What this got to do
in
with
game 3,
Yeah.
Anthony Davis did not take a single shot in the last 5 minutes. In game 4, did not take a single shot in the last 5 minutes.
He
I
got
don't care.
hurt.
Look, I have an issue with LeBron James in terms of activating or not activating.
Thank you.
But the fact of the matter is, when he pushes the button, it works.
Thank you.
Nobody's even allowing Anthony Davis anywhere near that button to push it because he hasn't demonstrated that he is the best player.
Get him, Slick.
LeBron James has done it
Get him,
time
Slick.
after time after time, and he did it again last night.
Yeah.
Look, I don't like that he always applies it.
You better
But
bob
you
and weave,
yourself, Marcellus,
You better bob and weave,
said
Marcellus.
the problem is
I said what?
he's the best player and he doesn't always activate it. What was the first part of that? He's the
I didn't
best
ask-
player.
That is
but he
me
doesn't
using your
always
logic
activate it.
against
That
you.
still
You
makes
can't-
him the best player.
Slick Rick, you can't be the best player, but then it's only going to come when you desire to be the best player.
That it actually
Because
shows
guess
that
what?
you're the best.
Because no, it doesn't. Because there's a responsibility to being the best player. And look, last year I thought LeBron was the best player. He got hurt. They didn't make the playoffs, and I'm like, ooh, they better not take his status. You said they did. Okay, I just don't see how you climb up out of the cellar by adding Anthony Davis, who actually had a better year than LeBron James, and then you're going to say that LeBron James did this all by himself, and he's now the best player. But that's not even my argument.
What is it? What is it?
That's
I'm
not
waiting
even my
for
argument.
it. I am waiting for
That's
it.
just me just shooting y'all down when y'all on the side of me. What I'm going directly at is the fact that last night I saw Jamal Murray have 32 points on 60% shooting.
What do you have on
But
LeBron?
everybody's trying to act like, oh, LeBron shut him down for the last 5 minutes
on
and that's
LeBron?
it.
No, I wouldn't go there.
It does happen. It does happen. But you know, they would have won this game if they would have just got the average Jokic. Just the same old Jokic.
Oh, so you gonna
a
bring
guy
Jokic
who's
in?
averaging 25 points, who lets Jeremy Grant outscore him last
Watch
night.
out for the stray bullets.
And all I'm
Watch
saying
out
is,
for the stray bullets, Jokic.
Y'all will hang
Watch out
this
for the
win.
strays.
Y'all will hang this win on LeBron James's greatness instead of looking at Jokic letting them down.
Slick.
And that's how they could have won this game.
So the explanation that LeBron James is not the best player in the game is because
Jokic.
Nikola Jokic wasn't good last night.
No. First of all, who was the best player on the court last night?
LeBron James.
Oh, boy, stop.
LeBron James.
No. Jamal Murray. Stop that.
No. Marcellus, LeBron James allowed Jamal Murray to do what LeBron wanted Jamal to do.
He allows it now.
You were the best
Yeah,
player.
when you go-
He allows them to win a game. He allows them to scare him and almost got a buzzer beater. He allows it.
Here's what I will say. If LeBron can at any point in time decide he wants to be the best player on the court, that in and of itself, Marcellus, says that he is the best player on the court. If he can win Everest, he said, no, this is what he said, Marcellus. He said Jamal Murray, you're in timeout. You're in timeout now. Like you tell your kids, you're in timeout. You're in timeout, Jamal Murray. You're about to go 0 for 3 from field for the rest of the game. You're in timeout, Jamal Murray. You're about to have a turnover. Oh, y'all were 5 for 5 the previous 3 minutes? You're in timeout now. Y'all are going to make 1 field goal the rest of the game. You're in timeout, Nuggets. That's what LeBron James did.
I am not going to argue any of that. I am not doing TV up here. All I'm saying is when you're coming down the hill and when you're no longer at your heights or where your resume says you are, you know what you start doing? Picking your spots. You know what you can't do? Pick your spots and still be called the best player in the NBA.
Exactly what
and that's the
do.
problem. When Durant comes back, when Kawhi comes back, when you're back-to-back
Why is Kawhi gone? Why is Kawhi gone?
Because he didn't have it around him.
We can have this conversation again.
Yeah, we should.
But as of right now, did he prove he's the best player in the game?
No.
Yes, because I got absentee ballots that haven't been filled out by KD or Kawhi Leonard. I only got one guy to judge right now. I can't talk about what KD was before the Achilles injury. I can't talk about what Kawhi was before he gave 3 games away and couldn't lead the Clippers past them.
You get a game. You get a game. You get a game.
I can talk about what LeBron James ultimately did last night. And I think you're confusing talent with best player. LeBron James, you can make the case that Anthony Davis at this stage of their respective careers is more talented.
Weak case,
but LeBron James manufactured points by getting to the free throw line. LeBron James stood up and made the stops at the end of the game against the key player for the Denver Nuggets. I can't take away the fact that he did what was necessary to win, no matter how he did it or what the numbers were at the end. I want the guy who's going to lead me to a victory. That's my best player.
Wow.
You
guys are so LeBron apologists that you forget that the reason that the game went the way it went is what happened first. Dwight Howard started. I'm just going to give it to you real.
Believe that I have ever been accused of that.
Right now, I don't know why you're trying to make it all back up. You want some credit for LeBron camp. Here's the thing. How did the game start? Did JaVale McGee start or did Dwight Howard start?
Dwight ball.
Oh, and Dwight ball. And then they won the rebounding edge. So the catalyst of all this was Dwight Howard. After Dwight Howard, then the whole rest of the game until the last 5 minutes was who? Anthony Davis. Is Dwight Howard the best player in the NBA now? Is Anthony Davis the best player? No. You know why? Because you guys want to hang this hat on LeBron because the Lakers win, and you got to say, LeBron, you did this.
We don't.
But you don't understand. For 43 minutes of that game, LeBron wasn't even in the conversation for best player on the court. But now he's the best player in the game.
I'm sorry. In the most important time on the game, in the most important minutes in the game, LeBron James was the best player. So you're going to disqualify him. In the most important part of the game, the final 5 minutes, LeBron was the best player in the game.
All I saw was Slick Rick just tell me that the clutch gene statistic and full screen didn't mean anything, and LeBron
there
went
are
on it
qualifiers. That's what Slick is saying. There are qualifiers to this. Marcellus, honestly, I could tell you, Marcellus, you was a bad kid because your mama probably tried to give you medicine. I don't want it. If you don't take this L and take your medicine so we can move on to the next block. Coming up, the Eagles are winless this season.
Oh, man.
We'll tell you if Carson Wentz's day as a starter done if they lose on Sunday. That's next. Speak for Yourself, presented by...
Welcome back to Speak for Yourself, presented by Honda. Yep, I'm off the canvas now. The 0-2 Eagles are 5-point favorites at home against the Bengals Sunday, according to odds provided by Fox Bet. Carson Wentz is off to a disappointing 20-20 this year, leading the league 5 giveaways. Come on, Carson. Joined now by Fox NFL analyst TJ Hushman's out of my dogs. But I'll tell you, it's Carson Wentz's job on the line this weekend, and don't protect your homie.
Nah, here's what I will say. It is not. It's not because, Marcellus, the real issue is the Eagles are stuck between a rock and a hard place. They understand that Carson Wentz has immense elite ability. Carson Wentz has elite talent. Carson Wentz's highs, they are sky high. But his lows, them lows been ugly, ladies and gentlemen. The reason, though, he's not on a hot seat is because week 1, Jalen Hurts, that second-round pick, he was inactive. Nate Sudfeld, the third in the depth chart, was second. But then week 2, all of a sudden, Jalen Hurts is a second on the depth chart. Doug Peterson, head coach for the Eagles, says, we don't know who's going to be our backup quarterback. Bro, if they don't know who their backup is going to be, then God knows they're not going to replace Carson Wentz with ambiguity. But here's the real issue at hand. If Carson Wentz loses to the Bengals, the cursed Bengals, then he's not going to lose his job in the next week, but the Eagles are already going to start looking for a way out. I'm going to give it to you, Marcellus. For once in your life, you right on that one.
Oh, once?
Once.
Okay.
If you're in a relationship, Marcellus, and well, you are. In this hypothetical, proverbial relationship, if all of a sudden something happens, you don't break up immediately. But what you do start doing is, where's the door? Where's the door? Where is the door? Because it's going to take you a while to be like, you know what? Let me get up out of here. The Eagles, if Carson Wentz loses, I don't think they bench him immediately. But what I do think they do is this. Where is the door? Can somebody find me the door to quarterback number 2? But they ain't got to worry about it because these Eagles ain't losing to the Bengals.
Oh, what an ugly look it would be if he were to lose to the Bengals. Yes, they should bench him if they lose, and yes, they will bench him if they lose. And I'm not even going to take the argumentative approach and try to win up here and talk from a negative spirit. I'm going to take it from the place of, let me help you out, brother, because you're coming down the hill with no brakes, and the only way to stop it is to give you a red shirt mental timeout. So this is what this is going to be. If he loses to the Bengals, if he loses to Joe Burrow, a #1 overall pick that's a rookie, and Carson Wentz, who's been under 500 for the last 2 years, who's had the second most fumbles in his career behind Jameis Winston, who has no playoff wins and has only played 1 quarter of January football for 1 completion of 4 yards, and he's making the 3rd most amount of cash this year. Oh, yeah, we gonna bench you, big dog, to just get you back, because you're right, Acho. They are caught between a rock and a hard place. You know damn well we can't continue with this trajectory. At the same time, we got to get some ROI out of you somehow, some way. So, TJ, I think he's going to get benched if he goes out there and takes an L.
Nah, he won't get benched, but he should. Who are they going to go to? Who are they going to? They're not going to play Jalen Hurts.
Why?
They're not going to play Nate Sudfeld. What they need to do is hope the Chicago Bears start off 4-0 and put that call in and say, hey, y'all want to send Nick Foles down back to Philly?
Don't do it.
Dude, since they won a Super Bowl, Carson Wentz has shown he's not an average quarterback. He's a below average quarterback.
No.
Below average. And don't talk about, he's immensely talented. I don't care how talented you are physically.
Yes. Don't do this, TJ.
He's not talented mentally.
Don't do this, TJ.
And we know he's physically talented, but he's not talented mentally. You don't have the talent that he has physically and play the way he's playing. You just don't do it. And their offensive line has been hurt. Their offensive line is actually playing well. 20 off-target throws. 15 of those, he had a clean pocket to start the season. So
you can't have 2 bad games. This is crazy. This is crazy. TJ, I'm just getting over the nonsense that Bucky Brooks came on this show and spewed. It hadn't even been 24 hours yet. I'm just getting over that nonsense. And you come in here speaking this ludicrousness. Marcellus, I don't know if that's a word. I'm going to start using words that aren't words right now because my brain can't process this blasphemy. Here's my thing, TJ. First things first, can a guy not have 2 bad games? What's wrong with y'all?
Oh, it ain't just 2.
Marcellus, you've had a couple bad shows. I've had a couple bad shows.
Marcellus
TJ, I'm sure you've had a couple bad shows.
He's under 500 for the last 2 years.
But Carson Wentz has 2 bad games. All of a sudden, he's mentally weak?
not when they need you. Mentally weak. Since they won the Super Bowl, he's 14-16. It's not just 2 bad games. It's 30 bad games.
I'll tell you anything. You got any more of that?
The playoffs last year. What you mean I got any more of that? What's wrong? Y'all's TVs didn't work. Y'all's TVs must have had COVID-19 during the playoffs last year when the Eagles were playing in the game. That's what must have happened. Because clearly y'all didn't see the Eagles.
Did he finish the game?
I'm not going there with you. I'm not going there. I'm not going there with you. That's ridiculous. Here's where I will go.
You have anything?
Here's where I will. TJ, the first minute of what you said made sense. The last 2 minutes were nonsense, but let me focus on the positive, silver lining. I'm a glass half full kind of guy. You can't go to Jalen Hurts just yet. Because if you go to Jalen Hurts, you better stick with Jalen Hurts. Again, I'm not a drinker, but I've done my research. You know what they say about these expensive bottles of wine? You open them, you let them sit for 2 hours, and then you pour them out. You pour them out, but you can't re-cork them. Because you try to open that joint again, it's going to lose its flavor. If you open Jalen Hurts, figuratively speaking, and you play him at quarterback, You cannot re-bench him. The Eagles, y'all don't have that luxury. Y'all can't do that. Because, Marcellus, quarterbacks aren't defensive linemen. Quarterbacks aren't linebackers. Quarterbacks aren't receivers or tight ends. Quarterbacks are a little bit different between the ears. Their game is played between the ears. You can't start and bench and start and bench and start a bench and a quarterback. That's not how the game works. And so the Eagles won't bench Carson Wentz immediately because they can't. Y'all got to be realistic. That's why we not head coaches up here. We should have LeVar in this segment. A head coach, although he is 13-10. We should have LeVar, a head coach, to chime in on the what,
Hey, big dog, you just said you're going to ruin them between...
I've seen LeVar rotate quarterbacks, but go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. How about one of the quarterbacks we're mentioning was rotated, like Jalen Hurts. Y'all talking about quarterbacks, you can't do that to them. Oh, you can do it to Jalen Hurts. You know why? When he got benched, he realized, okay, got to go somewhere else, transfer. And what did he do? Come up second in the Heisman. Didn't affect him. But as TJ said, who is not mentally talented in this conversation? Carson Wentz. And since you don't want to buy that, because I understand that's a little abstract, that right there is about intangibles. Let's talk about the tangibles. Pro Football Focus in the second half of last year, who was the worst rated quarterback? Carson Wentz. What? Who is 7-20 versus teams over 500? Carson Wentz. What? This year, who has the second lowest passer rating in the NFL? Carson Wentz. What? Who is 24-6 when they were a Philadelphia Eagles? Nick Foles. So give me, look, I don't know if Nick Foles is going to get his way back into Philadelphia, but stop with this corking stuff, because Justin Herbert just got uncorked, and the LA Chargers are excited. And if you're a Philadelphia Eagle fan, you lose a game this week to a team that is 6-26 in their last 32 games, the last 2 years. It's time to move on, guys, and figure this out. At least a TV timeout.
What this will tell me, if they lose to the Bengals Sunday, if they don't bench him, what Jalen Hurts has shown in practice isn't enough. And that will be the tell-all right there. If Carson Wentz loses this Sunday and he starts the following Sunday, it's that they don't have confidence in who's behind him. And it could be that's what they wanted when you draft a rookie knowing, he's not going to be ready to play. And it's like this. When you like a quarterback, Acho, you'll make every excuse for him. Oh, man, his offensive line isn't playing well. Oh, his rookie receiver is hurt. But when he's playing well, oh, man, he's doing everything. We'll make every excuse for a quarterback. He's right now playing worse than Jameis Winston played, because he's on pace to throw more interception than he did last year, and everybody was calling for Jameis Winston. I don't want to hear how talented he is until he can lead his team to victory. And so far, he's been below average, not average, below average since they won a Super Bowl, like I said earlier. Nick Foles, now the more I think about it,
it's real.
The more I think about it, they might lose Sunday, and I was thinking they were going to win.
What? First off this two-game analysis, TJ, that you have, Josh Allen is going to set an NFL passing record and throw for like 70,000 yards. Don't question Carson Wentz's toughness. I'm still stuck on that, because he tears his ACL, LCL, PCL, stays in the game, completes another touchdown pass, unless it was a two-point conversion, before leaving. Don't question his mental toughness. If Carson Wentz is anything, it's mentally tough. Carson Wentz.
No. That's not mental toughness.
What's that?
Because he can play with it. That's not mental toughness. That's physically being tough and being able to fight through it.
That's mentally tough.
He's not able to process information quickly. When you're holding onto the ball in clean pockets.
Now he can get education.
Come on.
Now it's sending.
We can't see that. We can't see that.
Marcel,
we can't see that. Those coaches know. They know. It's the reason Nick Foles won a Super Bowl with him. And as soon as he gets out the game, they look like the team can't play anymore.
And to pile on, because that's what we got to do. We got to do our job. Whether you want to think he's mentally tough or not, Acho, his teammates have questioned him, his character, his leadership. There have been a lot of reports out of Philadelphia's locker room over the years that there's question marks about his leadership. So something between the ears ain't clicking through the osmosis effect throughout the team. So, TJ, you talk about all of the statistics, and it's greater than a 2-game sample size, Acho. So let me give you guys a Wileyism.
I don't want it.
That lets you know what Carson Wentz is going through. Be careful, because the universe whispers before it yells. Think about it. It's been whispering about Carson Wentz. Hey, he ain't Nick Foles. Hey, this team don't respond to say. Hey, look at him the last 2 years. He's been concerned. It's been whispering. If they lose to Cincy, trust me, it's going to yell. But before we go, it's time to make our Super Six pick. We'll stick with Carson Wentz, whose Eagles host the Bengals in one of the matchups. So, Acho, you go first. Oh, God. Give me a winner and how many. Let's hear this Eagles talk.
Eagles 35, Bengals 21. You know what? Let me yell it because that's what the universe would do. Eagles 35, Bengals 21.
Oh, okay. TJ, what you got?
Before this segment, I was going to go Eagles 27-24. I'm changing. Bengals 24-23.
Oh, okay. Well, look, I like the smoke. I want the drama. I want to see what Philly does. Bengals win 28-23. They win by 5. Make sure you get your picks in before kickoff Sunday for your chance to win Terry Bradshaw's $250,000. And for top stories, scores, and more, go to the Fox Sports app. Boy, I hope they lose. Acho ain't gonna show up. Coming up, we started this debate yesterday, and now it's time to finish it. Who was the better quarterback, Tom Brady or Peyton Manning? Next, speak for yourself.
Hey, I got my back against the wall, but your boy is ready to rumble. Welcome back, LeVar. It's not going to be a happy welcome for you, though. Marcellus, you up first.
What?
Who was a better quarterback, Peyton Manning or Tom Brady?
You said his name first, Peyton Manning, and that's the better quarterback. I am not going to get lost in team success and team awards and team achievements. I'm going to go evaluation of position and how you played it. So let's start off with a full screen, King, just to set the tone. Apples to apples comparison at the quarterback position. By yards per game, touchdowns per game, yards per attempt, and completion percentage. Ding, 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 ding. Peyton Manning. But that's a little boring.
It's very boring.
Yeah, because I don't like apples for my entree. So let's keep talking. When their careers overlapped, someone won 5 MVPs and somebody only won 2 MVPs. I wonder who won 5. Peyton Manning. So peak powers to peak powers, it was Peyton Manning. But let me give you guys story before I kill Acho on my next laps with some much story and stats. I was in the defensive meeting rooms playing against both of these guys when they were starting their careers. We had to play against Peyton Manning when he was drafted in 1998 to a franchise that had not won a playoff game in 27 years versus when we had to play against Tom Brady, who was drafted to a franchise that just was in the Super Bowl 4 years prior. So Peyton Manning, you talking about having to go to an adverse place versus Tom Brady went to a place where things were kind of good. They had one bad year, but other than that, they were in the Super Bowl before you blink. And all of a sudden, we had to go and game plan. And let me just tell you, without calling out some defensive coordinators and head coaches' names, the difference in approach when we saw Peyton Manning behind center and Tom Brady behind center. Coach would say, look, there's a guy out there by the name of Machine Manning, and he's a machine. The first guy that ever authored at the line of scrimmage, not only the audible situation to the level and complexity he did, but the best offensive lineman I ever saw was Peyton Manning because he was a decisive quarterback. He would make sure he got rid of that ball before you could do anything. Meanwhile, Tom Brady was evolving, was growing, riding with a defense and special teams unit that was second to none. So in the situation I saw from our communication, in the meeting rooms, on the field, and actual statistics, not an argument. Peyton Manning, y'all.
Marcellus, you must have forgot to drink your pre-workout today, because that argument was weak. It was the weakest. Let's talk. You wanted to use stats, so I'm not even going to go there right now, because it's that barbershop talk.
You can't.
Let's talk about this. Peyton Manning, he had 5 MVPs. You talk about the organization that Peyton Manning went to. Who did Peyton Manning throw his touchdown passes to? Marvin Harrison, first-round pick. Reggie Wayne, first-round pick. Demaryius Thomas, first-round pick. Dallas Clark, first-round pick. Oh, who was his running back? Edgerrin James, first-round pick. Peyton Manning had nothing but first-round picks. Okay, let's talk about who did Tom Brady throw over the course of his career his touchdown passes to? Rob Gronkowski, third-round pick. Julian Edelman, 7th-round pick, played quarterback. Wes Welker, undrafted. Oh, but wait. Tom Brady had Randy Moss. Acho, how you forget Randy? You're right. Randy Moss had 39 touchdown passes when he played with Tom Brady. Tom Brady, Randy Moss were together for 2 full seasons. One of those seasons, he won MVP. The one of the 2 years that Tom Brady had a full season with a first-round talent of Randy Moss, he won an MVP. But here's what you're going to say. Oh, my God, it's so weak. Here's what you're going to say.
So weak.
Well, what about coaching? What about Bill Belichick? What about coaching? Great. Tom Brady has had Bill Belichick as his head coach and really as his GM.
Oh, really? We didn't know that.
Peyton Manning, yeah, Tony Dungy, also a Hall of Famer. But Tony Dungy can't compare to Bill Belichick, Cacho. You sound stupid. You're right. You're right. He only had arguably the greatest GM of all time in Bill Polian. Bill Polian plus Tony Dungy, equivalent to Bill Belichick. It's not even a conversation. Tom Brady, by far and away, over Peyton Manning. They are number 1 and number 2. Tom Brady is top 2, and he is not 2.
Oh, my gosh, Acho. Your pre-workout drink was a fraud. Now, I took my jacket off to look out for you against Big Bro, but now I got to look out for Big Bro on this one and go get you on this one. It's Peyton Manning easily. You brought up Tony Dungy. Everybody's talking about, oh, it's the coaching. It's the coaching. Well, let me throw an interesting piece of information your way, Acho. Your boy Peyton Manning made 4 Super Bowl appearances.
He did. He only won 2 of them.
How many coaches did he have in those appearances 4 as head coaches? Go ahead and put your hand up.
4.
Okay. If you understand the complexities of being able to win under different head coaches, then you'll understand how amazing a feat that is to make 4 Super Bowl appearances with 4 different quarterbacks or 4 different coaches. That says to me that you're winning because of the quarterback in spite of who the coach may be. It may be seen that, because for what it's worth, you know, your boy, Mr. Dungy, I love him to death, one of the most respected dudes ever. He didn't get that Super Bowl when he was in Tampa, right? So the thing about it is they got rid of him and thought that they should bring in somebody younger, more vibrant. They brought in Chucky, and then they went to a Super Bowl and won a Super Bowl. I don't know. I'm not here to argue that. What I'm arguing is the fact that if you're with Peyton Manning, you have more of a chance to win than with any other quarterback. Now, that's my first lap. That's my first lap.
No, I wasn't even a lap. That was 200 meters. You still ran a half. You still got half a lap to go.
I could give you a full lap.
What you're saying is we should give Marcellus credit for running off co-hosts and surviving when nobody else could survive. That's what we should do. Maybe we should look at the problem, but I'm not going to go there.
If the show is performing,
I'm not going to go there. Here's where I'm going to go. Tom Brady and Peyton Manning, they have both reached the heights to enter into the conversation of greatness, right? Like we talk about LeBron and Michael Jordan. They have entered into the conversation of greatness. They've done what they've done. But after you're in that conversation of greatness, the delineating marker is chips.
Oh,
you talk about 4 championships. 4 championships that Peyton Manning went to. He won 2. That's 50%.
Tom Brady's been greatness of winning.
Great.
Greatness of winning.
Tom Brady's the greatest winner, if you want to say the greatness of winning. Tom Brady is the greatest winner also of all time.
Let's go to break. So that's not the question.
That's not even a question.
The better quarterback. What is the job of a quarterback? What is a job of a quarterback? To distribute the ball and to win. So if the job of the quarterback, LeVar, is to win, Marcellus, he shouldn't have done this. You're going to have to dish LeVar. If the job of the quarterback is to win and Tom Brady is the better winner, then Tom Brady is the better quarterback. Tom Brady did the job of the quarterback better than any other quarterback in NFL
So you're saying that Trent Dilfer is a better quarterback than Jim Kelly? Or Dan Marino?
No, because there is a threshold.
Is Nick Foles in the conversation?
No, because nobody would argue.
In the conversation?
Nobody would argue is Robert Horry a better basketball player than LeBron James.
Argue Bill Russell. Is Bill Russell better than Michael Jordan? Is Bill Russell better than Michael Jordan?
There's a threshold of greatness.
Bill Russell crosses that threshold. Is he better than Michael Jordan?
There's a threshold of talent. Will anybody argue that Bill Russell's more talented than Michael Jordan?
No, better. Who's better, Bill Russell or Michael Jordan?
That's your point, Marcel. We can talk a basketball argument. We can talk basketball, too.
Hey, big dog, look, you keep going like that's the only line item in this conversation, winning it all. It is an important one. But we're saying who's better because Barry Sanders never won a title. And I dare you to come up here and try to argue me. And I can use your logic. I hate your Frankenstein argument.
Doesn't have the same dictation on winning.
Okay, Emmitt Smith didn't have this success. Put Barry Sanders in Emmitt Smith's position and switch him. Oh, my God, let's get out this conversation. All right, so here we go. I'm going to use your words against you because you wanted to say they both qualified. Yeah, Peyton won 5 MVPs. I don't know how you slight that. And Tom Brady only won 2 when they were playing together. And then you said, bro, you give him a first-round receiver. You give him Randy Moss. He sets the NFL record and has 50 touchdowns. Peyton Manning did that not only once, but twice. Not only did he get 50, and he said, oh, y'all didn't like that? At the age of 37, winning the MVP,
what happened when he
went
got
out there and won and had 55 5 touchdowns.
And got embarrassed in the Super Bowl with that, with those 55 touchdowns.
What are you
Not
talking
only
about?
that, but he's been the MVP consecutively 2 times. Not once. He's been the MVP of the league consecutively 2 times.
Twice.
Acho, listen to me on this one.
please,
Let me school you up on this one.
Please.
If you think about Peyton Manning, he was a all-pro first team 7 times. 7 times. There's only a few higher at 8. And your boy Tom Brady is at 4.
Okay.
He's got 4 first-team All-Pro bids.
Okay, good.
There's no debate here. When you look at Peyton Manning's body of work and what he's been able to accomplish, we can absolutely agree with you on saying that Tom Brady is historically the greatest winning quarterback of all time. No doubt about it.
He's the greatest quarterback.
But best quarterback? The most complete, balanced quarterback. If I'm in the draft today, 2020 hindsight, knowing what I know right now, if we have a draft today and I have to choose between Peyton Manning and Tom Brady,
What?
I'm taking Peyton
Not
Manning.
even close.
And why am I taking Peyton Manning? Because I don't have to worry about if Bill Belichick is there to develop Peyton or Peyton Manning or Tom Brady, because it says in historical context that Peyton Manning can go to the big dance with any coach that he has. 4 Super Bowls, 4 different coaches.
I'm holding
Stop this madness.
up 3 fingers for one reason. Categories, qualifiers for success. We've all said this on the show before. You can disagree if you want. We'll pull up the tapes. Ability, availability, sustainability. Ability, availability, sustainability. In Peyton Manning's 18th season in the National Football League, Peyton Manning got benched for a man named Brock Osweiler. Peyton Manning had 9 touchdowns and 17 interceptions in Peyton Manning's 18th year. That is that 3rd category of sustainability. But you know what? I don't even got to talk about it. Let me show it to y'all. Full screen, Prince, please. In Tom Brady's 18th year in the NFL, he just led the NFL in passing yards and won another MVP season. So if you want to say sustainability, Tom Brady. If you want to say availability, Tom Brady. If y'all want to say that Peyton Manning's ability, his heights were higher, then sure, I will give that to you.
think?
But we cannot sit here and act as if you don't give Tom Brady 3 first-round receivers over the course of his career, he wouldn't have dominated. Because he had 1 first-round talent receiver for 2 years, and he had an MVP.
Give Tom Brady 4 different head coaches. What are you going to get?
We already on number 2. We'll see how that plays out this year. Look, the conversation around Peyton Manning has never been, is it him? Is it the system? Is it the defense? Is it the special teams? It's never been that, Acho. And it's funny, you always bring that up. Acho always talks about, top 10 scoring defenses. And in 15 of his 18 seasons as a starter in New England, he had a top 10 defense. You know how many times
bunch of Hall of Famers on there.
the Peyton Manning had that with the coach? Just 5. And that's your strongest point. Or your other point, which you always want to talk about. Just imagine Peyton Manning in New England. Imagine Peyton Manning with Belichick.
Imagine Tom Brady with first-round picks.
Imagine what that would look like. It's crazy. Do not ever show me another full-screen prints of Michael Jordan's Wizard years and then try to put that into the conversation of his greatness.
2 years before his 55 touchdowns.
Get us out of here. Oh, my God. Did you just hit him with that more?
In our big story, Russell Wilson says he wants to win an MVP this season, like Peyton Manning did 5 times. We'll tell you if his quest for the award could actually hurt the Seahawks' success.
Throw the towel.
Speak for yourself.
Throw the towel.
Welcome back to Speak for Yourself, sponsored by Alpha Self-Serve for fast, cold relief. Let's move on to our big story and Russell Wilson, who leads the league with 9 touchdown passes and also has the highest completion percentage. Russ is an obvious early MVP favorite, which is ironic since he has never had an MVP vote in his career. Russ wants to win another Super Bowl, but the MVP award is definitely on his mind as well. Listen to Russ.
I don't want to vote. I think more importantly, I want to win. And I think, obviously MVP is a special award. This is the best football players in the world. And there's so many great guys. I think about guys like Lamar last year. It was unbelievable last year. Such a great player. Guys like Patrick Mahomes.
So, Acho, will Russell Wilson's quest for MVP hurt the the Seahawks' success?
Man, I think long-term it will.
Really?
I do. Track with me. I listen to men that have been there, that have played it. I've played it, but people have obviously gone to greater heights. 2004, NBA championship. The Detroit Pistons are playing the Los Angeles Lakers. The Lakers have 4 future Hall of Famers: Peyton, Karl Malone, Kobe, and Shaq. And Chauncey Billups, the starting point guard for the Pistons, he says this. He says, we knew the Lakers had already won 3 chips, and Shaq had won 3 MVPs in the finals. So we knew that Kobe was going to want to get his.
Okay.
And so what we had to do was make sure that Shaq is going to eat, Kobe's going to get frustrated, and he's going to force it. How does this relate to the situation I'm talking about?
Yeah, please make it.
Because if Russell Wilson is forced to eat, and defenses are like, okay, we know Russ is going to get his, then what they're going to do, Marcellus, schematically, we're going to make it hard on Russ to get his. We're going to sit in 2 high safeties. So now Seahawks, y'all better run the ball. But Russ is going to be like, the Seahawks are going to be like, we got to make sure Russ gets his. So now you're going to force it when you shouldn't force it. You're going to put yourself in compromising positions. Russ has always been selfless. One of the most selfless players in the National Football League. But there's going to come a time when the Seahawks are going to have to play left-handed. And is Russ going to be willing to do that? Remember, the Seahawks lost their 2nd Super Bowl, not because they weren't the better team on the field that day, but Coach Bevel, Coach Carroll had both said, at least they'd let this leak a little bit, that Russ was trying to get that Super Bowl MVP. He didn't get it the Super Bowl before. Time for him to get it. So now it's second down. Y'all hit the 1-yard line and you throw the ball. It doesn't make any sense. But things don't necessarily make sense when you're trying to do things that you shouldn't do for the team, but you're trying to do it for an individual. That's my fear for this one.
Oh, interesting. Was that take left-handed? Because it just seemed like you over there making an argument. What? My goal as a coach is to have 11 MVPs, or at least in their mindset, chasing MVPs on the team. Because guess what? That is a collective greatness in mindset and perfectly in accomplishment. We know it can't happen, but golly, who am I to sit here and say, no, I want lesser of you, or I don't want you to be recognized as the best in the game. I would love that, and I would love for that to be accumulative and to build. You know that there's no I in team, right?
Absolutely.
But there is a me.
Sure.
Damn right. And to use a basketball example here really doesn't hold water, because in basketball, it's 5-on-5. Everybody got 20% equity invested in this. We both go both ways. So I can even control it even more so. In football, the discontent isn't going to happen to a team. It's going to happen to that one individual. But that one individual still is going to get his because he's in the MVP conversation. It's just amazing to me right now that there's an argument for him to win it because he hasn't gotten a vote. You got to earn those opportunities. In the 3 years that he really was an MVP candidate, you know who won them? Cam Newton with a 15-1 season, Patrick Mahomes with an all-time season, and Lamar Jackson, who had another all-time season. So some awards just have to be heartless. You just got to go get it with your merit. I don't think that this is going to be an issue for the Seahawks. I don't think it's an issue for Russell Wilson if he shows up every single week. LeVar's back with us. So, LeVar, settle the score. Will Russell Wilson's quest for MVP hurt the Seahawks' success?
Not only is it not a distraction, but it's a rally call. Because if you really think about it, if your quarterback is looked at and revered as an MVP, that means everybody in the ultimate team sport had to do what they were supposed to do. The receivers had to catch the ball. The linemen had to block. The running backs had to run. The defense had to play defense. It's an ultimate team sport, because I've never heard of an MVP, maybe outside of Barry Sanders, that would be able to accomplish at an MVP level without it being truly a team effort. So I don't see it being a distraction at all.
I'm not saying that Russell Wilson's quest for the MVP is going to necessarily make his teammates worse. What I'm saying is simply this. There's going to come a point in time when you can't do what you want to do. We saw that with the Titans in the playoffs last year. We saw like, we want to feed Derrick Henry, but we can't do that. How well can you perform when you have to play with what's taken away from you? Let's talk about Patrick Mahomes this year. Pat Mahomes ain't gotten worse. Pat Mahomes ain't lost any talent, but week 1 against the Texans, they sat in 2 high safeties. I'm not going to get football technical on y'all, but simply saying the Chiefs had to settle with what they were given. Okay, we're going to run the ball. The running back went off. Week 2, same thing against the Chargers. This time just a little bit more pressure, so Mahomes wasn't as great. But people say, Mahomes, you're not going to ball against us. What is Russell Wilson going to do? More importantly, what are the Seahawks going to do when they say, okay, Russell Wilson, you're not going to go crazy against us. I'm just trying to make sure that they don't force it. Because if they do try to force it, it's going to be bad for the Seattle Seahawks.
Well, it's a team award, according to Russell Wilson. It's really a special award because everyone is involved in it. That's what he says. But it kind of sounds like Red and Friday, like it's both of ours, but it's going to be in my house. We'll see how that plays off. Coming up, Aaron Rodgers and Drew Brees have the Hall of Famer in their future. Uh-oh. But currently, we'll tell you which quarterback has more to lose in their matchup Sunday. Next, be for yourself. Presented by Hyundai.
Welcome back to Speak for Yourself. Let's move on to future Hall of Famer Aaron Rodgers and Drew Brees, who'll meet Sunday in New Orleans. Brees has been under scrutiny this season for his lack of long passes. On the other hand, Rodgers has 6 TD passes and 0 picks. Rodgers said his Packers will be facing a big test this weekend against a fellow Super Bowl contender. Take a listen.
Both the Saints and us, have aspirations, that I think are real. They're a really talented team. And so are we. So it'll be a good measuring stick for us.
TJ's back with us, but Marcellus, you up first. Who has more to lose this weekend, A-Rod or Drew Brees?
This one, not even close. Kind of like that Peyton Manning and Tom Brady discussion. It's Drew Brees. Oh, my God. Let me remind y'all, first of all, Drew Brees and the New Orleans Saints last year did win 13 games, did win their division for the 3rd straight year, did beat Tom Brady and the Bucs in week 1, and then week 2, without Michael Thomas, oh, my God, we went to Las Vegas and lost the game. And now the sky is falling. It's no longer blue. It's just Drew. People out there tripping on Drew Brees, exaggerating on his demise. They're not yelling that loud for Aaron Rodgers and his decline as they are for Drew Brees. And it's been a tough offseason. This is real. When you talk about narratives, who control the narratives? Y'all, we, me, all of us, collective voices. And let's just be real. This offseason was a little tough on Drew Brees because he got caught up in back and forth. He got caught up in waffling. He said some comments that were authentic to him, and all of a sudden, everybody was mad at him. So he said, oh, y'all mad at me? Let me say what y'all want to hear. And then the other people who said you were authentic got mad at him. It's in the Bible. You know this, preacher's son. Be hot or cold, not lukewarm. I spit you out my mouth. Drew Brees, how dare you go against one of the biblical terms and passages? And that's why Drew Brees right now is in this demise that is being exaggerated. He better win.
I respect the biblical reference, Marcellus, but you're going with the low-hanging fruit. Aaron Rodgers, he has more to lose this weekend, and it's not for what meets the eye, but it's for what meets the mind. Remember, the Packers drafted Jordan Love, and so it's almost like a seesaw. The better Aaron Rodgers does, the worse Matt LaFleur and Packers management does, because they said, Aaron Rodgers, you done. They like Aaron Rodgers. You ain't got no more in the tank. Ooh. And now Aaron Rodgers is out here balling. What's that song? They praying for my downfall?
Praying for my downfall.
That's what they're doing with Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, the better he does, yes, on the surface, it looks like, oh, my God, thank God Aaron Rodgers is balling. But Matt LaFleur is sitting back there looking at Jordan Love in the QB meeting room like, then what I'm going to do with this? But also, remember, Aaron Rodgers has really thrown a wrench in the matrix, or what I, in psychology, would like to call the Pygmalion effect. That's what you call it. It's self-fulfilling prophecy. It says, my belief about others will dictate my actions toward others. Well, the Packers thought Aaron Rodgers was done, so they drafted Jordan Love. It dictated their actions toward others. But that action now changes their beliefs about themselves. Because the Packers drafted Jordan Love, Aaron Rodgers wasn't supposed to ball like this. And if Aaron Rodgers wasn't supposed to ball like this, then he wouldn't have played well, which reconfirms, oh, Aaron Rodgers ain't good. The problem, Aaron Rodgers is balling. And so Aaron Rodgers has completely thrown a wrench in the plans the Packers have. Aaron Rodgers has more to lose because the Packers are like, man, just give us a reason. Just give us a reason to bench you when we gonna do it. And Rodgers is like, what reason?
Man, Nacho, if I didn't know any better, you were in my mind on that one. It's not even close. Aaron Rodgers has more to lose this weekend. For one, everybody assumes this is Drew Brees' last year. He's on his way out. It's what you just said. They drafted Jordan Love. Aaron Rodgers, you don't have it anymore. Okay, I'm going to show you. But I'm going to give you some stats, and I'm not really a stat guy. Drew Brees, worst since 2005, passing yards. Completion percentage, worse since 2012. Passer rating, worse since 2010. And then you go to Aaron Rodgers. Best. He's playing his best football in 5 or 6, 7 years. And so he has so much more to lose. Number one, you can say, yeah, Drew Brees, he doesn't have Michael Thomas. Well, Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams have been in and out of the lineup. The way they started these first 2 games, and you go back to the first game with the Saints and the Bucks, Drew Brees didn't play great. They got a block punt, the muff kickoff, the pick 6 return for a touchdown. These first 2 games have been awful. So we think it's going to be par for the course this 3rd game. He's going to continue to play like he's been playing, whereas Aaron Rodgers started off so hot. If he loses this game, it's going to be like, okay, yeah, this could be the reason why we drafted Jordan Love.
Man, I ain't think my dog TJ would echo what Acho was saying.
TJ, you smart, brother. You smart.
That same echo I hear, you must be in the bathroom right now. I hear an echo every time you talk. And it's crazy right now. You need to flush that tape down the toilet. What the hell y'all talking about around here? Y'all can't give me no 2-game equity if you Aaron Rodgers. Oh, my God, everybody's good over here in Green Bay because he
Even if you base it off of a career.
Well, they both have been basing it off a career. I respect that. They both base it off a career, but you got to understand, y'all keep talking about Jordan Love like that's pressure. That ain't pressure. I've been on the team before in Buffalo. They drafted a first-rounder in my position, Eric Flowers. You know what's worse than getting someone drafted in your position in the first round? When they pay your backup $16.3 million. Woo! That's New Orleans right there. Forget a dude that's on the cheap for the next 5 years. They got a guy that they're sitting there like, last time we saw him on the field, he looked like the best quarterback we have on the team in the playoffs. So this is a Saints team that didn't lose back-to-back games last year. This is a Saints team that is 10-0 on Sunday night games. So we won't even enter this conversation because Drew Brees and the Saints will respond. But if they don't, big dog, it's going to be ugly.
Here's my one issue, Marcellus, with what you are saying. Packers management is looking at Aaron Rodgers like we look at Twitter trolls. Everybody says something good, but that one negative is glaring, and that one negative sticks out. Aaron Rodgers has a whole bunch of good, but I'm telling you right now, if Packers management sees that one negative, they gonna retweet that one. Coming up, Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes could be the NFL's next great rivalry. We'll tell you if their matchup on Monday is bigger than a normal game. That's next. Speak.
Welcome back. Time now for a rewarding performance sponsored by Capital One. What's in your wallet? Lamar Jackson was rewarded with the MVP award last season after rewriting the record books. His matchup Monday night against Patrick Mahomes' Chiefs is the first game in NFL history between former MVPs who are 25 years old or younger. One problem for Lamar, he's 0-2 so far against Mahomes. Despite that, Lamar isn't putting any extra emphasis this time around. Listen to Lamar.
Just like in the other game, I don't have to focus on Mahomes. I got to focus on their defense. I got to focus on scoring. I got to focus on my job and making my offense, do our thing.
Lamar's back, but I tell you buying Lamar Jackson here.
I ain't buying that at all, man. I'm selling that like a vastly decreasing stock. Lamar, you ain't got a lot of us, man. You the swaggiest player in the league. You just keep doing your thing and kicking it, but you got to shoot it straight.
Why you always lying? Lamar, stop lying.
Look, Lamar, be real. Lamar's 21-2 as a starter, but the problem is, 21-2, but the problem is he 0-2 against Pat Mahomes in these games that matter most. Lamar Jackson has already told us before the season, he said this, I don't care about MVP. What I care about is a Super Bowl. That's what I want. He said, I don't care about Pat Mahomes' contract. What I care about is a Super Bowl. There's only one problem. The only way Lamar Jackson can get that oh-so-coveted Super Bowl is by going through Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs. This game ain't any other game. This game is the only game that really matters for the Ravens. The Ravens have shown they're head and shoulders above just about everybody in the AFC, but they're not head and shoulders above those Chiefs. Furthermore, Patrick Mahomes has consistently shown statistically he got Lamar Jackson's number. Pat Mahomes 4-1 in the playoffs. Lamar Jackson 0-2 in the playoffs. Lamar Jackson dominates every other opponent except for the Chiefs. So this game ain't any other game because if Lamar Jackson wants to achieve the goals he's told us all he wants, that Super Bowl, he's going to have to go through one team, and that's the Chiefs. That's this game.
I'm buying Lamar Jackson right here. And you talking about his goals. I know how people like you roll, Acho. You remove the goal posts if he wins this game, as he's 21-3 in the regular season, and 2 of those losses are to the Chiefs. Remember, Simba. Remember. Young Simba, I must talk to you in the difference between preparation and anticipation, Simba. There's a difference. Preparation is what you have to do. And in that preparation, he has to prepare to go against the 28th ranked Chiefs defense. But Acho wants to map on his anticipation. He wants to map on the fact that he gets to see these young quarterback MVPs duel it out. And that leads to his anticipation. But you got to be careful there, because if we're going to watch Lamar Jackson finally go out there and realize all of his goals, it has to be about his expectation, not your situation. Oh, I'm over here preaching right now.
Bars.
Here's the thing.
Bars.
When you prepare, you got to stay focused, singularly focused, narrowly focused. He's going against the 28th ranked defense. That's all he could get caught up in. I understand we want sound bites to give us ammo, to give us fuel, to give us smoke so we can create the drama. But he's absolutely correct in this situation. If we had the sound bite from Patrick Mahomes, who's not looking like Patrick Mahomes this year, you will be hearing him say, I need to be worried about the #1 defense and #2 overall defense in yards allowed. So that's the conversation we need to be having, but that's not good TV.
You know, it's interesting. Pat Mahomes also said in his presser this week that, man, I am paying attention to Lamar Jackson in this game. I'm hoping our defense can do well enough to stop him, and I can lead us to more points to win this game. So Pat Mahomes is acknowledging it. But the cool thing about Lamar Jackson, and I am buying that he means what he's saying, and here's the reason why. Lamar Jackson is totally aware of what he's trying to accomplish. To say I am treating this game any differently than any other game is to say my preparation, as you mentioned, Marcellus, is going to be different for a Patrick Mahomes-led team. Well, then you have to ask yourself the question, somebody who is achieving at the level that Lamar Jackson is at this moment in time, why? Why would he alter the way that he's prepping and going towards doing his games? Because he lost a couple games to Pat Mahomes? No, they lost as a team. When you look at Lamar Jackson, his performance led him to an MVP award.
Yeah, right.
What's already understood doesn't need to be stated. Lamar Jackson is going out there to kill the Kansas City Chiefs, and he doesn't have to hype it any more than what it already is.
LeVar, put your hand down, okay? Let me tell y'all this, and this is how I'm going to close this thing. Lamar Jackson has already accomplished just about everything you can. He's got the NFL MVP. He's on the cover of Madden. Everything you can accomplish while playing the game of football, Lamar Jackson has accomplished just about, man. But what he hasn't accomplished is winning a Super Bowl. What Patrick Mahomes has is winning a Super Bowl. The person standing in Lamar Jackson's way is Patrick Mahomes and this Chiefs team.
Oh, in week 3, there it is. That's
coming up. Okay, LeBron is a win away from a trip to the finals. We'll tell you if the comeback kings from Denver still have a shot in the series.
Come on, Lamar.
Welcome back to Speak for Yourself. Let's head back to the NBA, where the Lakers are 1 win away from a trip to the finals. LeBron's squad is up 3-1. But we've seen what happens when them Nuggets are down 3-1. It's an NBA record this postseason by coming back not once, but twice from 3-1 deficits. Speaking of coming back, Slick Rick, it's good to see you back with us. But Marcellus,
yes, sir.
You giving the Nuggets
good to see Marcellus upright.
For real. Marcellus, come back. Marcellus, you giving the Nuggets any chance to get back into this series?
Hell yeah, I'm giving them a chance. Don't call it a comeback. We did it twice this year. They did it twice this year. What the hell y'all talking about? Got them right where we want them. Look, I'm not crazy. It's going to be an improbable task, but not an impossible task, and there's a huge difference. Jokic, be Jokic. Nikola, be Jokic. That's all you got to do. Don't go out there and give me 16 points in foul trouble because you're tired. I saw it. You were just tired, boss. And you're out there reaching and getting yourself in foul trouble. If he goes out there and just as average, I ain't say above average. I ain't say get outside your skin. 25 points is your average. You win that game yesterday. Also in the rebounding department, you guys got to play better. AD is still not rebounding. He had 4 last night after, everyone was, oh, my God, he only had 2 in game 3. So there is a way for them to go and wiggle themselves right back into this series one game at a time. Because if you're going to lose this series, it's going to happen one game at a time. And you only got one more chance to lose. But I think that this team, because of his mental resolve, because of what it's been through, they have weathered the storm all year long. I think that it's improbable, but not impossible.
Here's why it's impossible, Marcellus. No. It's because of that man, Jokic. What's the saying? The mind is willing, but the flesh is weak. The mind is willing for Jokic, but he's tired. In the last 3 games, game 2 in the fourth quarter, Jokic had 12 points. Game 3 and game 4 in the fourth quarter, Jokic 0 for 5 combined. He got 0 points. He's tired, boss. He's tired. But beyond that, this is LeBron, man. This is King James we're talking about. This isn't Kawhi. It's not Pat Bev. It's not Playoff P.
Chill.
It's not Morris.
Chill.
It's not Zubac. It's not none of them cats.
Chill.
It's the King. LeBron is 14-0 in series when he's up 3-1. LeBron, on the other hand, we've seen him come back from down 3-1, but you just don't do that against the King. That's why he is the King. LeBron in closeout games, he's 35-10. That means he wins 7 out of every 9 close-out games. LeBron don't even play with this food. So when he's in these situations, he goes for the kill. Again, this ain't Kawhi, bro. It's not Pat Bev. It ain't none of these cats. This ain't Donovan Mitchell or nobody from the Jazz. This is LeBron and the Lakers. Nuggets don't have a chance. You had a good run. But what they say, although we go to the end of the road. It's the end of the road for them boys, though. It's the end of the road.
Not yet.
Somebody gave Marcellus smelling salts, and Acho decided to lead with his chin. Acho. This idea that Jokic is gas. Charles Barkley put that out there. He's got too much to do at both ends of the court. He's done. Full screen. Give me the full screen.
Wake us up. What you got? What you got?
In these playoffs, they've gone down 3-1, and Nikola Jokic has been very much a reason for them going down 3-1. But take a look at what he's done in Game 4, where in the previous 2 series, everybody would say, oh, it's getting to him. He's going deep in the playoffs. He can't handle this pace. And then Game 5, when it's on the line, Nikola Jokic comes through and takes everything up another standard, especially the numbers in scoring are important, and the efficiency in the field goal percentage and the three-point shooting. We saw none of that from Nikola Jokic in Game 4, and I would fully expect that we're going to see it in Game 5. And by the way, for all that the Lakers have done in these playoffs, yes, they've previously lost a game in the series, but it was the first game in both of those previous series. And then they basically figured out what they needed to do against the Blazers, and they figured out what they needed to do against the Rockets. I was talking to a couple scouts going into this series, and they said this is going to be an old-fashioned battle in terms of playoff series where one team's going to make an adjustment and the other one then is going to counter, and it's going to go back and forth. The Lakers did a great job in Game 4 of making some adjustments, starting Dwight Howard and then putting LeBron James on Jamal Murray at the end of the game in key situations. If you'll note, LeBron was great when he was on the ball. The second they took Jamal Murray off the ball and had him running LeBron around, LeBron decided, oh, somebody else has got to go get that cat. And then Jamal Murray is getting to the free throw line because Alex Caruso ends up on him, and he gets the foul call that he wouldn't get against LeBron James. So I expect Mike Malone to make some adjustments. And the combination of that with the Denver Nuggets having the confidence that, yeah, we didn't want to be in this situation before, but we're not going to blink. We know how to operate in this situation. And the Lakers, meanwhile, have demonstrated in the last 3 games. I can't say that they figured out the Denver Nuggets. Every one of those games was winnable by the Nuggets, and I would expect the same here. And we're going at least one more game because that's all you need for this to be a series. For them to get back into the series, they need to win exactly 1 game. They can certainly do that.
Hell yeah, all I heard from all that word salad was Jokic is not limping, but AD was. Jokic is not limping, but LeBron was. So let's see. Hey, I bet y'all that the Nuggets come back and went in and out.
Are you still trying to win the previous argument?
Bet me honey kettle.
Let's get up out of here with my in and out. I'm going to win this weekend. Coming up, we're ending the week with Uncle Jimmy's thoughts on some of this show. No, the whole damn show. What in the world is he going to say about us next? Speak for yourself. Nostradamus edition. Before we go, let's bring in Uncle Jimmy on the board. So what are your thoughts on today's show? Be nice, it's Friday.
Well, Wiley, I don't know how in the hell you managed to do it, but you sat up here today and defended Dak Prescott until you turned blue in the face. And I'm here to tell you, it ain't a very pretty sight. Hey, man, you're absolutely right. Dak is a beast. The Cowboys has got a group of hogs. So let me ask you something. Why ain't they won nothing in that sorry-ass division that they in?
Good question.
If Dak can't win nothing in that division, how in the hell you think he gonna win something in the future? Hey, you're absolutely right, Ocho.
Thank you, Unc.
I'm speechless.
I'm
Fox
right.
Bet Live, take this. You're on next.